What's going on, y'all? Greg said it, back with another one here, going to the last two games. Going to Washington State this week on another one of those Friday late night games. And man, we don't know what we signed up for this year in Colorado with this, man. But this is another, 10 o'clock, 10:30 Eastern game. And I don't know how I feel. It's been pretty interesting, y'all. You know, the season, lower level, some of the colleges already ended. I think some of the Division II high schools in the playoff, and it's just different. When all the energy is together, you feel it. And as other seasons end, the intensity kind of goes down, kind of like in bowl season when just a few teams left. It's just different, even though the NFL is going on and stuff. It's just less teams playing, less focus on. You can feel that. And I kind of felt that this week. I was like, man, I almost felt like it ain't a game this week. But it's two more left. And, man, this is going to be a good one. I'm just going to go ahead out here and put it out here early right here. And I'm going to explain why. I believe they're going to win this game. And this is not the wishful super fan thinking. I think that, I said that a couple games they would do, and pretty much they was close in all the other games they should have won. But I believe they're going to get this one. I haven't really seen nothing to make me say that. I haven't seen any well-off anything. I see they're doing the same thing, trying to be loose and relaxed. But it's an interesting thing because I've heard the comment, and I agree. I think they said Coach Prime said it, and I got to go back and look at that video, actually. That I think midweek conference or something like that, maybe from yesterday. And say Coach Prime say this is basically Colorado playing a mirror image of themselves. And I never really thought about it, put it like that, but I agree, because that's kind of what I've been seeing. Just kind of watching Washington State from afar, I feel like they do. I mean, not just the quarterback. Shedeur and Ward, they both came from FCS schools. I think Ward may came a year early or something. They're trained by Select QB, trained by the same guy. They're friends. They've been, knowing each other for a while. So same style, same offensive style, right? They both love to throw, don't really run first type teams, not a real dominant run game. The offensive lines considered both on the smaller end, not big dominant offense lines. You really don't hear much about their defense being pretty dominant, defensive line, anything. Very identical teams as far as just the makeup. Even the record down similar, if not exactly the same, especially in the pack. They both started off really, really strong out the gates, ranked, beating some games they didn't supposed to win, and then just have been down a slippery slope. They haven't been able to win in the conference, but maybe like one game, both. So they both are in the same position. They both, like, the record's pretty much the same, and definitely in the conference, and they just looking for another win. And the only difference is that Washington State is at home. This is probably be cool, up there, probably a little rainy, damp. And it's another late night game. Colorado really don't like those games. They'll sit around all day and play. And they going away. Just those late night games. We seen it in Colorado State, Stanford, and I know those two games. Whereas, and both of those were at home. So they have this incomplete game type thing, on another level. They have a ability to start off strong, not finish the games. And those penalties have been at every game, but you just see those penalties and the team just hanging around who they're supposed to beat. But I think realistically, they're supposed to beat Washington State. And I really think they're just a little better. Now, it can go either way, because another similarity they have is they're very bipolar. I'm going to say bipolar. You don't know who's going to show up. They both get and show up and have pretty explosive offenses. They've shown that. They both have shown that they can play way under their potential and barely beat teams they supposed to have beat, and lose the teams they supposed to have beat or could have beat. We know Colorado can come out there and beat the explosive Colorado and jump out there like they did last week, or they can jump out there like they did the last couple weeks and only put up 3 points and 6 points at the half. We know the defense can play like they did the prior weeks and then come back and play average like last week, or just horrible like, really what they played like last week was really average. Like, they kind of play like that at TCU. It's hit or miss. They can stop run, then they give up the big play. And the thing about it, Cam Ward, like Shador, is a good enough quarterback. His accuracy is not exactly the same, but he's not a low-level quarterback. His IQ is not necessarily low level, but I do think he would run a little more. He's a little more mobile. So the defense got to watch out for that, because they have a tendency of just go off in la-la land in coverage and let the quarterback just take off. Like we've seen at Oregon State and maybe even Stanford. Just really anybody who's really to run. We see it with Colorado State. With a quarterback was able to run, they took advantage of it, because they go off in coverage and let the quarterback run for 20, 30 yards when they finally get like the pressure on them. So I don't know why they don't leave a spy closer to the line instead of dropping back. You got 2 safeties back there. So those are some of the things that I would think. Again, I don't know what to think sometimes, because we talk about it and we're just the couch coaches, right? The people who don't really know. And then some of us really, really don't know, who didn't play ball, right? But nobody's there and nobody's played at that level or at that situation to speak on it, right? But at the end of the day, it's some obvious things that other teams have done. Clearly, they got tape on us, we got tape on them. We know what works. This line is able to put pressure on the quarterback. Our D-line is able to put pressure on them. They've done a good job last couple weeks against better lines. So that could help. But you put that pressure on him, you leave a bowling lane, an alley right up the middle, and he can run and escape every time without a linebacker. There we go with the linebackers to deal with it. I don't know what to think. I think the secondary can and has done a decent job, and I think the D-line has done a different job. I've been very open about the linebacker play. Hurt people's feelings, but it is what it is. Because I actually played it. I played the other positions as well, but I know how long. I was looking at film somebody showed, I think it was Dave Talks Buffs. He was showing old film of Wisconsin playing Washington State, and it was interesting because it was a play that broke down. It's like, I like this coverage, but both of their linebackers did something very different from what Colorado do. They were disciplined. They stayed at home. They both were on the same plane. One wasn't up, one wasn't back, and they were spaced off enough. They wasn't right by each other, giving each other high fives and slaps. But they didn't commit to the run or the pass. They read first, and you could see it in their footwork and how that played. That was the key to me. The defense was putting pressure, but he couldn't take out because the linebackers were still there. And they had crossing routes right in front of them. You can tell the linebacker on this side was ready to pick up the cross route, and the other one was ready to pick up the other one. So the linebacker play will be a big deal. It will be a big deal. And it will make the difference in how the team plays and the success of the team. I will say, I don't know what adjustments they're planning to make, but it will not be the DBs that's going to make the difference. The DBs can do decent. It's no big time receivers. I mean, they're going to be pretty decent because they have a decent quarterback, and they have some little quick routes, and they kind of similar to Colorado, them little quick screens and quick passes. And you got to be able to tackle. You can't come up and just throw your elbow at their shoelace. You have to be ready to hit them and wrap up, and not give them 100 yards after contact type of thing. Hit the receiver like he's a receiver. He's not a big bowling ball like the running back from last week. I don't even think they have a big bowling ball running back, so that should be a solid relief. So just actually come up and make the tackles, the stuff you really learn in like high school and less. So those are the things that's going to have to take place. They're going to have to be able to tackle. They're going to have to be able to do what they need to do. Do what they're able to do and do it consistently. Make plays on offense. Stop them on defense, not give up the big plays. All the stuff we know they should do. And if they do that, and they do it fairly decent, they actually put points on the board again, and the defense is able to hold the offense down, they should win. Now, it could be a shootout. It could go one extreme or the other, which is not as likely. It's more likely to be a shootout. Kind of like what we've seen when they do play like TCU and last week, quarterback score, and whoever outscore. That's what it's more than likely going to be. Is it possible for other things? It could be, but this is more than likely. I'm just being realistic. I hate when people say that, like, it's going to be a shootout. I'm like, every week, can we have a defensive game? And then we had the defensive games, the offenses didn't really show up, but we haven't had a defensive shutout. Nebraska was the closest thing to it. and they just was fumbling all over the place. They quarterback really didn't take advantage of his running ability. And I can't say it's all him. The defense played decent, but we're looking for a defensive game that allowed them to put less points on in Colorado. I don't know, maybe save it for next year with the whole, we need to shut out, some goose eggs, some 14-point games. I'm not going to act like I expect that. Mr. Pat Shermer's back. He got 3 weeks in now. I think we've seen some progression with the offense. Not quite with the run, but a little bit. And the offensive line seemed to be better than they've been in a long time from a sack standpoint, especially the way they was looking the last few weeks. So if the offensive line can maintain, Shedeur can be healthy and move like he need to move and run what he need to run, keep the offense balanced, then I can call a Colorado win. But those are just my thoughts. I'm Greg. Greg said it. Hey, y'all have a good one. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all soon.